All right, today we're jumping into a classic story about faith, people, and a misunderstanding that is just deeply ironic. It's a tale that really pits one man's perfect, solid-as-a-rock faith against the messy, imperfect reality of human kindness.
So, what does happen when perfect faith crashes into our messy world? Well, to figure that out, we've got to meet our main guy, a farmer named Lencho. His belief system was as simple and as strong as the very land he worked, day in and day out.
So picture this. Our story kicks off with Lencho, a hardworking guy living in the only house in the entire valley. You know, his isolated life has really given him a simple worldview. You work hard, you have faith, and you trust that nature, and by extension, God, is going to provide. He is literally living on a hill overlooking his future.
And right now, that future is looking pretty good. His field of corn is just bursting. It's promising a fantastic harvest. It just needs one thing: a good, solid downpour. For Lencho, the math is simple. He's done his part. Now he's just watching the clouds, totally confident the sky will do its part.
When the rain finally starts to fall, Lencho is just ecstatic. And for him, this isn't just water, it's money falling from the sky. This quote right here, it tells you everything you need to know about him. He sees a direct, almost business-like relationship between what God does and how well he's going to do.
But, oh man, as quickly as that joy showed up, it turns to absolute horror. That promising rain transforms into this violent, destructive hailstorm that threatens to wipe out everything he has and, the very foundation of his simple faith. And this is where you see his whole world just get turned upside down in a second. Those new coins he was celebrating, they've turned into frozen pearls, hailstones, just hammering his crops. The promise of a harvest is gone. His field is just white, as if someone dumped salt all over it. His entire year's work just gone.
The devastation is absolute. I mean, he even says a biblical plague of locusts would have been more kind. But here's the incredible thing. When reality fails him this completely, his faith doesn't waver. Nope, it actually intensifies. It becomes the only thing he and his family have left.
He truly believes that nobody starves, so Lencho, this ox of a man, decides on a plan, a really unique plan. If the usual channels have failed him, well, he's just going to go straight to the top.
So what does he do? He sits down and he writes a letter. Not to a loan officer, not to a charity, but directly to God. And for him, this is not some symbolic, hopeful gesture. No way. This is a practical, logical step. In his world, God is someone you can write to, someone who understands profit and loss.
And get this, he doesn't just ask for some vague help. He asks for a very specific amount, 100 pesos. It's what he's calculated he needs to replant his field and get his family through the year. His faith isn't just strong, it's incredibly practical.
Okay, so now the letter lands in the human world, at the post office, and let's just say it causes a bit of a stir. When it first arrives, people are confused and then they just start laughing. The postmaster, described as a fat, friendly guy, he starts out laughing too. I mean, who wouldn't? But then something shifts. His laughter turns into something deeper. It's admiration. He is so moved by this pure, powerful faith that he decides he cannot let it be broken. He has to protect it.
So he gets this great idea to answer the letter himself. He starts a collection, asking his employees for money and even chipping in a chunk of his own salary. It becomes this group act of charity. But here's the thing. Despite all their good intentions, the real world just can't perfectly match the divine request.
In the end, he only manages to scrape together 70 pesos. He puts the money in an envelope, signs it simply God, and sends it off, probably feeling pretty good about himself, right? He has no idea what's about to happen because of his kind but incomplete gesture. So the next Sunday, Lencho comes to the post office, and when they hand him the letter, he shows not one bit of surprise. Of course, God answered. To him, this isn't a miracle, it's just how the universe is supposed to work.
But the second he counts the money, that confidence turns to pure anger. And why? Because in his mind, God is perfect. God doesn't make mistakes, God doesn't miscalculate, and God certainly doesn't shortchange you. So if the problem isn't with God, then it has to be with the people who handled the letter.
He immediately marches back to the counter, asks for paper and a pen, and furiously scribbles another letter. He even slaps the stamp on with a punch of his fist.
The second he leaves, the postmaster and his employees eagerly tear it open, expecting, a thank you note.
Anna, this is what they read. In the story's final, absolutely crushing twist, Lencho thanks God for the money, but he warns him not to send the rest through the mail. Why? Because he is convinced the post office employees, the very people who sacrificed to help him, are thieves who stole the missing 30 pesos.
And that's the gut punch the story leaves us with. Lencho's powerful, unwavering faith in a divine being made him completely blind to the very real, very human kindness that was right in front of his face. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How often does the sheer strength of our own beliefs prevent us from seeing the good in other people?